Since day one, Joe Biden had the opportunity to stop what Israel was doing. On October 10, he could have done so if he wished to do so, but he did not. This is not simple incompetence. This is not Israel walking Biden. This is the grand design that the American State Department had for the region coming to fruition. We're going to be talking about Biden's final remarks as president on foreign policy now. And then we're going to move on to...
Today I can report to the American people.
And then we're going to move on to the other story, top news story of the day, the situation in Gaza.
People, our adversaries are weaker than were when we came into this job 4 years ago. Just consider Russia. When Putin invaded Ukraine, he thought he'd conquer Kyiv in a matter of days. But the truth is, since that war began, I'm the only one that stood in the center of Kyiv, not him. Putin never had. And we laid the foundation for the next administration so they can protect the bright future of the Ukrainian people. Many experts believe or predicting it was inevitable that China's economy would surpass ours. According to many predictions, that would happen by the year 2030 or shortly thereafter. But we in this room said no. If we make the investments in ourselves, we protect our workers and technologies, that will not happen. Now, according to the latest predictions, on China's current course, they will never surpass us, period. And in my administration, we've seized more fentanyl at our border in 2 years than the previous 5 years combined. Today, I can also report to the American people, we're the first president in decades who's not leaving a war in Afghanistan to his successor. On the war between Israel and Hamas, we're on the brink of a proposal that I laid out in detail months ago, finally coming to fruition. And as we deal with immediate challenges,
Joe Biden will be remembered as the man who oversaw and supported the genocide of Palestinians. That is how he will be remembered in history books. And perhaps to add insult to injury, Trump will most likely, at least in the early stages, be accredited with the hostage negotiations coming to fruition. Part of that is because, and I said this literally a year ago and repeated over and over again, that I suspect Benjamin Netanyahu knows that Trump has his best interest in mind and also is a more reliable pro-Israel person than even someone who is ideologically committed to the Zionist project like Joe Biden. Since day one, Joe Biden had the opportunity to stop what Israel was doing. On October 10, he could have done so if he wished to do so, but he did not. This is not simple incompetence. This is not Israel walking Biden. This is the grand design that the American State Department had for the region coming to fruition. He could have stopped it at any point and chose not to do so. And the only way to try and stop the further bloodshed was, could he? Question mark. Yes, he could. People who personally believe that Israel controls the American government is or whatever, silly Nazi things that people say, fail to comprehend that Israel would not exist without unlimited American support. This is precisely the reason why numerous presidents have stopped Israel from engaging in further bloodshed. Joe Biden himself stopped Israel from engaging in further bloodshed in 2021. All it took was a phone call. Israel is an American state in the way that it functions. Okay? It's seen as a foreign ally so that there is a level of a removal of responsibility in the hands of U.S. empire to a certain degree. But ultimately, when America says jump, Israel says how high. Now, you pre-watch the current events, you can't be right this often. Yeah. If I'm a stupid person and I can see it from the outside, I'm pretty sure these guys can see it as well. Every single person was knowledgeable on what Israel was doing. Every single person. If we saw it here, if we saw it here on twitch.tv/HasanAbi, every other person also saw it. Every person in a position of power also saw it. There were some people who were like, Israel's a sovereign nation. The U.S. can't make them do whatever they want. Look at this. Look how easy it is. While Prime Minister Long pushed for a temporary ceasefire that amounted to the first phase of the three-stage proposal Israel submitted in May, the deal being finalized is increasingly closer to the original offer, clauses connecting first phase with two others, making it harder for Israel to resume fighting. There is no point where America was not almost singularly responsible for all of the atrocities that unfolded. Do you understand me? They would not have been able to do the consistent bombing campaigns without the United States of America's continued arms transfers. We are responsible for this genocide. Joe Biden is responsible for this genocide. Anthony Blinken is responsible for this genocide. They did it even though the overwhelming majority of the public wanted it to end. They continued doing it even though there was an election that was coming up where this would be a major issue for the party in charge, and they still continued doing it. They tried to lie to the public through mainstream media over and over again. They undermined the existing little confidence that people had in mainstream media for accurately reporting on information. They destroyed it. They destroyed the last semblance of credibility that mainstream institutions had. And then as people recognized right from wrong, because they went on social media, places like TikTok, where they saw the reality with their own two eyes, they decided to ban TikTok, which I'm going to be talking about with my guest that literally just now showed up at my house, at my doorstep, Christian Divine, in a little bit. I just have to finish this rap really quickly before he gets in.
In my view, we have to look to the future. I urge the next administration to carry forward two issues that have been central to my presidency and which shape the future, in my view. On artificial intelligence, we are in the lead, and we must stay in the lead. We must not offshore artificial intelligence, as we once did with computer chips and other critical technologies. And likewise, clean energy transition will race ahead in years to come. I know some incoming administration, some in the incoming administration, are skeptical about the need for clean energy. They don't even believe climate change is real. I think they come from a different century. They're wrong. They are dead wrong. It's the single greatest existential threat to humanity. Throughout my career, the world has undergone tremendous change. But certain things have always held true. At our best, America leads not only by the example of our power, but the power of our example.
Let me clear this up real quick. I'll bring you in. Hold on. Holy f***. Biden says he's leaving Trump a stronger country is just a way for him to basically do a little bit of ass covering here after all of the untold amounts of cruelty that he subjected the rest of the planet to. This is perhaps one of the larger reasons why he lost to begin with.